Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm dressed very casually because President Ruto instructed everyone attending today's youth meeting to dress like a youth. And I hope I've achieved that I look youthful today. Yeah, Your Excellencies, good evening. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, ministers, delegates, you're welcome. I'm not going to take long, but I just want to say that as the African Development Bank, we're very pleased with what CCDA has turned out to be over the past 10 years, actually 11 years. Like my brother has said, 1992, the conversation was had. 30 years after, we're still having that conversation. But truthfully, we've moved further than we were in 1992. A lot of things have happened, and we have more or less taken charge of what is important to us on the African continent. We're also glad to be hosting the CleanDev Africa Special Fund, because this was a fund that was established to address some of those issues that have come to the fore since Rio 92. We had a report of WMO that said that Africa has less than 1/8 of the minimum number of stations that it requires to support development. And so, with CleanDev Special Fund, we've been able to invest about $74 million. It's not much, but in grants as technical assistance to help strengthen climate data centers on the African continent. And we're very proud that we facilitated the construction of APAC's new office, the ultra-modern station or center that we have now that is doing a lot in supporting development here in East Africa and the IGAD region. But one other thing that I think we need, that we've talked about here, and I'm glad the resolution is out, two things. First, we need to change our narrative. We have taken on us the wrong narratives for too long. Africa, most vulnerable. Africa, least able to cope. Africa, in the negatives. Coupled with the fact that we have also been set in a 3% course. Why 3%? Climate finance flow in Africa, 3%. Emissions, 3%. Private sector capital investment, 3%. We need to grow beyond this. And that's why I'm glad that we've talked for too long. Now let's stop the talk. Let's do what we need to do. We need to change that narrative. Can we change that narrative? Yes, we can. And I want to tell us how we can do it. In this city, a few years ago, some young men and women sat together and created what is called M-Pesa. It was at a point when a mark of Human Development Index, one of the indices, was the number of telephone lines per certain number of people. Kenya did not get to that point. They did not, as far as I'm concerned, know internally how the cell phone worked. They never manufactured a cell phone, but they sat together and created M-Pesa that has become the mother of all money transfers today. I believe that somewhere, those can-do spirits in our youths are still available for us to ensure that we find a solution to Africa's climate challenge. As the African Development Bank, we stand ready to support that initiative. And that's why we pay so much attention to youth. Very important constituency. So we're also ensuring that we have money. Everyone talks about money. If I don't talk about money and leave, I'm sure people will curse me. The bank came and didn't say anything about money. We spend about $10 billion a year on development. For us, climate change and development are two sides of the same coin. You can't separate them. And anything that threatens Africa's development threatens the very existence of the African Development Bank, because that's what we do. So we spend about $10 billion every year on development. But we ensure, we set a target that 40% of that would go to financing climate initiatives alone. That's about $4 billion a year, We've been doing that. But last year we exceeded it, we made it 45%. And we told ourselves that of that 45%, at least 50% would go to adaptation, which is what concerns us as Africans. And I have good news for you that not only did we achieve that, but we got to 67.3% going to adaptation. Is the money enough? No. We need to collectively come together to ensure that we raise the resources. And we're doing some other things to support that. For instance, we've just established what we call the Climate Action Window, where we've mobilized $42.9 million. This is cash already in the pocket. And what is it supposed to do? Part of that money, 75%, is to go towards financing adaptation initiatives. 15% will go to mitigation, and 10% will go to technical assistance. We want to continue to strengthen Africa's climate data centers. We want to use that money to ensure that every African is covered by early warning systems, like you said, supporting other initiatives like that of the UN Secretary General. So this is very important for us. And it largely goes to the low-income countries so that we can change that narrative and the fragile countries. So I think with that, let me thank everyone who's been part of this to say that let this be a new beginning for CCDA. We've done 11 years, and we've done marvelous work. We've done great jobs thanks to the partners, ECA, the African Union Commission that is seated here, and the African Development Bank and PAGA. But I encourage us, when we meet again next year, let us come with stories of success, what we have done, and what the world is waiting for. I thank you.